You already know where your stress lives in your body. You don't have to think about it. It's the same place every time. Maybe it's the left shoulder that climbs towards your neck and ear by the middle of the week. Maybe it's the jaw that you're clenching right now without even realizing it. Or maybe it's your low back that quietly gets louder when life gets busier. You've noticed the pattern. You just didn't know there was a reason for it. So today I want to explain why stress doesn't just feel bad, but it lands somewhere specific. Your body has a stress address. And once you understand that, a lot of things that haven't made sense will finally start to. A patient recently came in who was really discouraged. She's been training for a half marathon, put in the work, was ready. And then 2 weeks out, she was in enough pain on the right side of her back that she was seriously considering pulling out of the race. What she mentioned almost in passing was this. She had noticed that her pain gets worse when her stress goes up. She said she wasn't sure it counted as real information, like maybe it was in her head. But it's one of the most important things a patient can tell me because it confirms something I see in practice all the time. Stress doesn't just live in her mind, it loads in her body, and it goes into the same place every time. Her stress has a zip code. It's her right hip and low back. Here's what's actually happening underneath all of that. Your nervous system is constantly scanning for a threat. That's not a flaw, it's a feature. It's designed to keep you safe. But when you're running high, handling a lot, carrying more than you let on, your nervous system shifts into a guarded state. And when it does, it doesn't brace randomly. It braces in a pattern. Think of it as a default posture your body falls into under pressure. For some people, it's the upper traps pulling up and forward. For some people, it's the hip flexors tightening, pulling the pelvis forward. And for other people, it's the jaw. And some other people, it's one side of the low back. The pattern is yours. It's been yours for years. And every time stress loads your system, the body goes right back into it. This is why you can have a great week, feel loose, feel good, and then something stressful happens and the same tightness is back in the same spot like it never left. Because it didn't. That pattern is always there. Stress just loads it. A patient I saw recently was under a significant amount of stress. She has family members overseas and she's carrying that worry with her every day. As her stress climbed, she developed real tension in her upper trap and the muscle that runs from your neck towards your shoulder. It got to the point where there was a noticeable knot there, so she went to her massage therapist who spent a full hour working on it directly, trying to release it. It came back. The headaches that had been coming with it, she described them as question mark headaches, a dull, lingering ache that went from her trap up the side of her neck to just behind her ear and into her temple. It just wouldn't fully clear. When I examined her, I could feel exactly why. Yes, there was a trigger point in that trap, but the joints in her mid and upper cervical spine were restricted and irritated. The muscles across that whole region were guarded, and the trigger point wasn't the problem. It was just the result of a different problem. This is one of the most important things I can walk you through, so stay with me. A trigger point is not a random muscle spasm. It is your body's version of duct tape. When there's instability somewhere, when a joint isn't moving the way it should, when the spine is restricted and your nervous system doesn't have a clean communication through that area, your body lays down muscular tension around it as a way to create stability. That knot is not the problem. The knot is the solution your body came up for a different problem. So when you go after the knot directly and only the knot, you're removing the duct tape without fixing the pipe. The body just puts it right back. This is why her massage therapist, who genuinely is skilled at what she does, could not release that trigger point in an hour. She was working at the level of the muscle. The signal creating the muscle tension was coming from the spine and the nervous system, and that was never addressed. With this patient, we worked on the spine first, released the restricted joints, did some gentle cranial work to calm the system down, then addressed the soft tissue. But the time she left, her headache was gone. Not better, gone, because we met it at the level it was actually living. You might be wondering, what about the mental side? Therapy, breath work, meditation, does any of that help? Yes, and genuinely. None of that is wasted, but managing your stress and mind does not automatically reset the physical load that stress has already deposited in your body. The brain can understand that the stressor has passed. The body takes longer to get that memo. Both sides need attention, and they work best together. When we adjust the spine, we are not just moving bones. We are giving the nervous system new input. The spine is the main channel the nervous system communicates through. When segments of the spine are restricted, the nervous system reads that as a continuous threat signal. It stays guarded. The muscles stay contracted, the trigger point holds, the headaches linger. The more we restore movement to those segments, the nervous system gets a different signal. It gets permission to come back down. The muscles soften, not because we forced them to, but because the signal is telling them to brace finally changed. This is why patients tell me things I didn't specifically treat got better. They sleep more soundly, the jaw clenching eases, their shoulders drop on the table for the first time in months. It's not that we fixed everything, it's that the system finally got permission to reset. If you've been noticing that the same tension shows up in the same place every time life gets heavy, you're not imagining it. That's your nervous system showing you its pattern. That's actually useful information. The question isn't, how do I get rid of this? The question is, what is this telling me, and am I addressing it at the right level? So if this resonated, save this video. It's the kind of thing that lands differently the second time you watch it, especially when you're in the middle of a hard week. And if you know someone who keeps saying, I've tried everything and the same spot keeps coming back, send this to them. This is usually why. If you're in Dublin, Powell, or Upper Arlington area and you want to understand what your pattern actually is, we'd love to figure that out with you. The link to book a new patient visit is in the description below.